So you've submitted your application. What's next? The evaluation. This will be more detailed in section 3.6 of your RFA if you have it in front of you. But otherwise, I will walk you through the stages of our evaluation process. Stage 1, applicant eligibility checklist. The NDE and evaluation committee will ensure each applicant has submitted the required documentation prior to scoring. Any applications missing required documentation of this RFA will not be eligible for the CELB award and therefore will not be scored. So we put this checklist in there just for you to kind of give yourself that final review and make sure you have all your ducks in a row prior to that submission so that you can get your application to the next step of the scoring. Stage 2. So you are eligible. You've moved on to the evaluation of your questions and budget and your students served and populations that you'll be applying for. All right, so the scoring summary. Each application will be scored in 2 categories: responses to questions, 50%, and addresses target populations, 50%. Responses to questions include the program questionnaire and budget. The maximum number of points each applicant can receive varies on the age bands they are applying for. These totals will then be converted into a percentage. Applicants will only be scored based on the relevant age bands included in their application. The score will not be negatively impacted by applying for fewer than 3 age bands. We have a 1 to 4 scale as shown on the slides. Some questions are worth double points, so be on the lookout for those. And let's highlight again what we're looking for in your responses. So you've taken the time to complete your LCNA and have identified key areas for growth. As you respond to these questions, we want to see how you're intentionally addressing those areas through your planned activities. Be sure to connect your efforts not only to your specific needs, but also to our NDE long-term goals, demonstrating how your actions will support and advance our shared vision. All right, the addresses target populations 50% section. I believe this section needs some further clarification. Applicants will be providing information about high-needs schools and the subgroups they plan to serve. Once all applications have been submitted, those serving a higher proportion of these subgroups in relation to all applications received will be given greater weight, with a higher percentage of addressing target populations compared to those with fewer subgroups. Please remember that there is a lot more at play when deciding the grantees. Remember that we're planning on awarding across all 3 tiers, and we, the agency, have an obligation to meet the 15-40-40 rule. Your total students served determines your tier, also known as the maximum amount of money you can receive per year. For the target population portion, it's possible that the Tier 3 applicants may hit more of the priority subgroups, but Tier 3 are not the only applicants who will be receiving money. There will be awards given to Tier 2 and Tier 1 applicants. Therefore, you may appear to have a lower priority score, but it may be considered high for your tier. So don't let this section stress you out. Just focus on your program information questionnaire and your budget narrative. Again, this is in compared to all the applications coming in. If you have any more concerns about this, please reach out and we're happy to talk to you more. And if you have these concerns, maybe others do too, it'll just be included in that frequently asked questions. So we're here as a support. Please reach out to us. Section 4.4, required elements and commitments. So if we're awarded the grant, what is expected of us? Section 4.4, required program elements and commitments, gives you a taste of what to expect if you are awarded this grant. We will have a second technical assistance webinar with the awarded grantees to go over the expectations in more detail. The reporting requirements will also be incorporated into your official subgrant, also known as a contract, for review and your approval. We will give you a very detailed understanding of what exactly we are asking for before you officially accept your award. This data collection will be required of the grant. But again, we'll kind of walk you through all that once you've been awarded your funds, and we'll kind of dive into what questions you have at that time. We'd like to talk a little bit more about the IPG in our next few slides. There is an ELA IPG and a foundational skills IPG. They are a classroom walkthrough tool used primarily by building leaders, and will be a part of the Nebraska CLSD evaluation system. IPGs describe core actions associated with standard aligned content, effective teaching, and meaningful student engagement. Each core action includes indicators and a rating scale, making it easy to identify trends across classrooms and track progress over time. The IPG tool builds instructional leadership and supports leaders in establishing a vision for high-quality literacy instruction and focus improvement efforts where they are needed the most. For more support and technical assistance and reference to the instructional practice guide, we have a list here. Again, if you're confused about this at all, you can also reach out to that nde.clsd email address, and we're happy to expand further. But this is part of that required elements and commitments section. We'll really dive into this more thoroughly with our awarded grantees, and that'll be a great time to kind of go over that then as well. But reach out if you have any questions in the meantime. All right, so we've hit the technical assistance webinar closing. If you have any questions about the webinar, about the grant, about GMS, we please ask that you use that process in place for the written questions and answers. You can email the nde.clsd@nebraska.gov. We're happy to also get you in contact with the right people. If I can't address them myself, we will get you the answer that you need. The following will also be available on our website: the webinar recording. I also have a PDF read-only version, which is pretty much everything that I've said to you verbally. You can read that if your brain works better that way. And I also will have the optional supplementary information fillable form for you to use as part of your GMS application. And if you have any questions on how to use that, again, here I am as your support. You just reach out. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to explore this RFA with us. We wish you the very best in your planning, and we're so excited to see the innovative applications that you submit. Again, we thank you. We look forward to this, and we can't wait for these partnerships to get started.